This episode is made possible by the generous support of my patrons at patreon.com/SayGoodnightKev and by viewers like you. Thanks! Hello everybody, No Shave November, which is why I'm looking so scruffy looking. Now you know that, and I have immediately dated this episode within a month. So once again, my insecurities have destroyed the evergreen potential of my episode. But since I've already ruined this episode, I might as well make an exception. Because all day you guys have been sending me a trailer that you apparently want me to comment on. That trailer being God's Not Dead 2. Well, since my review of the original God's Not Dead 1 is my most popular video on my channel, I figured I might as well indulge you guys and make my attempt at a trailer response video. So let's jump right into it. Here's my reaction to the trailer for God's Not Dead 2. And before we get going, can I be the first and only to ever say that this is the most uncreative title ever? I don't know what I was expecting. I guess maybe something a little more creative. Just the fact that they're calling it God's Not Dead 2 is somewhat of a marketing strategy, right? They want to make sure that nobody misunderstands that this is not a prequel or a spin-off or a remix. This is the official sequel to that last movie that you spent a ton of money on. Ooh, a new sparklier logo?
People seem to forget that the most basic human right of all is the right to believe.
The most basic human right is belief. Can we just think about that statement for like 2 seconds? Which I feel like is 2 seconds longer than the writers of this film must have thought about it. What are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense. Belief isn't an action. Belief can inspire actions. Like when I was a kid, I believed in Santa Claus. And so I made sure that I was in bed in time for Santa Claus to come and bring me my presents. But nobody could stop you from believing something. Anyway, so this trailer starts off pretty ridiculous already. So people are protesting against them teaching Christianity in schools. Oh boy, new fringe Hollywood actors who are desperate enough to be in these movies. And the promise that we'll be continuing the story arc of the most minor of characters. Fred Thompson? No. See, Fred Thompson just passed away this week. You didn't deserve to have this be your last film. They keep saying they. It's like, you know people can hear you, right?
Think of the other children out there who are subjected to their repressive belief system.
If we sit by and do nothing, the pressure that we're feeling today will mean persecution tomorrow. We're at war.
Yeah, we're at war. Totally.
What makes nonviolence so radical is its unwavering commitment to a nonviolent approach.
Isn't that sort of like what Jesus meant when he said that we should love our enemies?
Yes. You have heard it said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy.
Oh, that is such an interesting concept to present in a film that specifically targets non-believers.
But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you.
One of your students sent a text to their parents. Did this happen?
If you're asking whether I responded to a student's question, yes.
And your answer incorporated the words of Jesus.
What were you thinking, Grace?
The Tholies are asking that you be fired, plus revocation of your teaching certificate.
How do we make this go away and not get blood on our hands? We let the ACLU do it.
Oh man, they're specifically calling out the ACLU in the trailer. I can't wait for the ACLU to make a response movie.
We're going to prove once and for all that God is dead.
No order in the matter of Thorley versus Wesley.
Mr. Kane will insist faith isn't on trial here, but that is exactly what is on trial.
Oh, the pastor is on the jury.
You're looking to prove that Jesus Christ existed? Oh, that's ridiculous. I hate what people like your
That is really ridiculous, isn't it?
our society.
You're under arrest.
These people, they're looking to destroy you. Everyone's telling me to stay out of it. What is your heart telling you to do?
I would rather stand with God and be judged by the world than stand with the world.
Buy this book. And if you don't, you're persecuting the church.
I am not going to be afraid to say the name Jesus.
They're quoting the song in the movie.
He's living on the inside, roaring like a lion. God's not dead.
So inspirational.
He's living on the inside, roaring like a lion.
Poor newsboys have to perform this song again.
If we're going to insist that a Christian
I really hope that newsboys show up in the courtroom to sing this song.
Christian's right to believe is subordinate to all other rights, then it's not a right.
You are out of order. I charge you with contempt.
I accept the charge because I have nothing but contempt for these proceedings.
God's not dead, he's surely alive. He's living on the
April 1st, of course. I can't think of a more fitting day to release this movie. I mean, I know that the reason that they're releasing this movie on that day is because who in their right mind would release a movie on April 1st? But it's also, to me, very funny because this whole movie is like an April Fool's prank to Christians. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the trailer for the upcoming film God's Not Dead 2. Okay, so I guess you guys want my reaction or response. Just to be fair, it's very difficult to judge a movie before it has come out. I'll give the movie the benefit of the doubt that the trailer doesn't tell the full story, but I will attempt to judge the trailer based on what I see here. My question would be, because I'm confused here, people who are of faith, of any faith really, to what degree does the government need to approve of that faith for you in order to make it true? Because to me, that seems like a very incredibly high level of insecurity. Yeah, I think it's fascinating that a movie called God's Not Dead still seems to be making a very bold statement that there is no Holy Spirit. Would be funny if it wasn't so ridiculous that he says that we're at war. But Christians know, or at least they should know, that we don't fight against flesh and blood, we fight against temptation and sin. According to the Bible, anybody who is wanting to be different than who they are must trust in the Holy Spirit, right? I mean, if you don't have faith that God can change the hearts of other people the way he has changed your heart, then I'm not sure how you can claim to be a Christian. To me, this looks like another propaganda piece that is attempting to make Christians feel like they're victims because we live in a world where people want to be victims. Because if you are a victim, then you are no longer responsible for the violence or anger that you have towards the person who you claim is victimizing you. But very quickly, someone who believes they're a victim can become a bully without even realizing it. And Christians don't need to see themselves as victims. If you believe that God is as powerful as you claim you believe he is, then he's not a victim. If you believe that what you believe is true, then truth does not need a defense. It's just true. So if you are secure in your faith, then who cares what other people say? I'm sure some of you are planning to go see this movie, and some of you are planning to not see this movie, and maybe some of you are waiting till I release my review of this film on this very channel once it comes out on DVD, whenever that is. But if you want my opinion, I think this looks like another attempt at a cash grab from people who either are well-intended and misinformed in their faith, or who just don't understand Christianity but still want to exploit it. And I hope this time around, maybe we can be a little bit smarter about it and not just give our money away to people like this when there are real, genuine people out there doing amazing things that we could give our money to instead. Like my friend Gret, whose YouTube channel you can check out right now, and you should, because he is a genuine person who has left the United States and moved to Malawi, Africa, the poorest country in the world, to be a math teacher and to help people who are sick. That's cool. The fact of the matter is, if this movie was truly from Christians who wanted to change the world, then they would understand the Holy Spirit and grace and love and wouldn't spend their time worried about how they are being persecuted or attempting to incite the attitude of, if the government doesn't do the Holy Spirit's job, then who will? So movie, you can trust the court system to change people's hearts if you want to. I'm gonna stick with God. He seems like a safer bet. I'm Kevin, holding Christian movies up to the same standards as other films. Good night. Guys, thank you so much for checking out this bonus episode of Say Goodnight Kevin. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to give a big shout out to Brendan Neely, really nice guy who does give every single month to patreon.com/saygoodnightkev. Really cool guy. Ever since I have started recently to cut back on my episodes that I release each week, he still continues to give, which means he is only getting his name shouted out 2 times a month instead of 4 as before. So anytime that I can jump in and say thank you, I will. Thank you, Brendan, for your kindness, and everybody else who is giving to my Patreon each month. You guys are awesome, and that's all I gotta say. I'll talk to you later whenever I review my next film, which I believe, as long as I get a chance to watch it, is going to be a movie called Christian Mingle. That's a movie. I'm looking forward to watching it. Talk to you guys later. Good night.